My child, don't be afraid. I see the smile you show the world while something inside you quietly aches. I see how you keep your voice steady, how you keep showing up, how you keep saying, "I'm fine," when your heart has been carrying questions you don't even know how to put into words. I see the moments when you felt overlooked in a room you prayed to belong in, misunderstood by people you tried your best to love, rejected in ways you replay at night when everything finally gets quiet. I have seen every time you swallowed your pain so you wouldn't be a burden. I have counted every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed. And I know how tired you are, not just in your body, but in your soul. Tired of trying to prove you are worthy. Tired of feeling like you have to earn kindness, earn attention, earn a place, earn the right to be chosen. Tired of carrying the weight of other people's opinions, the weight of their silence, the weight of their distance, the weight of the words they said and the words they never said. You have been holding rejection like a sentence over your life, and you have been letting what they decided feel bigger than what I declared. But you are not invisible to me. This moment is not an accident. Right now, as you are listening, as your mind is still spinning and your heart is still tender, I am meeting you in the exact place you thought you had to hide. I am not late. I am not distracted. I am not careless with you. I am near to you, near to the quiet ache, near to the places you don't post about, near to the wounds you've learned to cover with strength. Listen to me, my child. You are not what they did. You are not what they decided. You are not the uninvited one. You are not the forgotten one. You are not the one who must compete for love. What happened to you is part of your story, but it is not your identity. Their rejection is something you experienced. It is not who you are. Their inability to see you does not mean you are unseen. Their unwillingness to value you does not diminish the value I placed in you. So breathe, and let this settle over your heart. I am going to lead you gently out of the place where you felt unwanted and into the place where you are known, out of striving and into being held, out of the echo of human verdicts and into the peace of my truth. You will not have to fight to be loved here. You will not have to perform to be kept here. Stay with me. I will show you who you are, and I will heal what rejection tried to name. Now listen closely, my child, because this is the line in the sand your heart has needed. Their no is not my verdict. Their silence is not my sentence. Their refusal to choose you is not proof that you are unchoosable. I am not consulting the opinions of people to decide what you are worth. I formed you before they ever had the chance to misunderstand you, before they ever had the chance to leave, before they ever spoke a word that tried to shrink you down. Rejection is an event. It is not your identity. It is something that happened to you. It is not who you are. But I know how it tries to work its way into your thinking. One closed door, one conversation that ended too quickly, one relationship that made you feel replaceable, and suddenly the enemy whispers a new name over you. Unworthy, too much, not enough, hard to love, easy to forget. And you have been repeating that name in your own head like it is wisdom, like it is prophecy, like it is the truest thing about you. But I am the one who names you. I am the one who created you. And what I create, I do not create by accident. I did not form you with intention and then leave you to be defined by someone else's rejection. You are not the leftover. You are not the inconvenience. You are not the one who has to beg for a seat. You are my beloved. You are chosen. You are formed carefully, purposefully, wonderfully made. What they rejected was never your value. It was their capacity to recognize what I placed inside of you. So right now, breathe, my child. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Peace. Be still. Stop rehearsing their opinion like it is truth. Stop putting their words on the throne of your mind. Stop letting a moment of rejection rewrite a lifetime of my design. You don't have to keep proving yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have to keep chasing affirmation from hands that were never assigned to hold you. Come closer and hear me clearly. Your identity comes from my hands, not their hands. My voice over your life is higher than their conclusions. My knowledge of you is deeper than their assumptions. My love for you is steadier than their changing feelings. And as you release the weight of human verdicts, I will restore the true name you were always meant to carry. I will teach your heart to stand again quietly, surely on what I say about you, until you can look at rejection and say, that was not my ending, that was not my name. My child, I know what happens when the room gets quiet and your head finally touches the pillow. I know how the day ends, but your mind does not. I know the way you replay that conversation, what you said, what you should have said, what they meant, what you think they were thinking. I know how you scroll back through memories like evidence, trying to locate the moment you became too much, or not enough. I know the questions that rise in the dark. What is wrong with me? Why didn't they choose me? Why did they leave so easily? Will I have to start over again? Will I be unwanted again? And I know how dread tries to sit on your chest like it belongs there. But hear me clearly, those thoughts that keep you up at night are not prophecy. Anxiety is loud, but it is not always true. Fear speaks in absolutes, but it does not speak with my authority. Your feelings are real, yes, because your heart is tender, because you have been hurt, because you have carried more than you were meant to carry, but your feelings are not final. They are not the judge of your future. They are not the voice that gets the last word over your life. I do not speak to you in panic. I do not lead you by confusion. My voice brings clarity when your mind feels crowded. My voice brings peace when your thoughts feel like they are running. My voice brings truth when you are tempted to make an identity out of a moment. And if the voice you are listening to is accusing you, condemning you, telling you you will always be alone, always be overlooked, always be rejected, then, my child, that is not me. I do not name my beloved with hopeless names. I do not crush the bruised reed. I steady you. I restore you. I remind you who you are. So tonight, release it. Release the mental courtroom you keep holding inside your head, where you are both the defendant and the prosecutor, where you cross-examine your own heart until it is exhausted. Release the need to be chosen by everyone. Let me carry what you were never meant to carry, your constant striving to be understood, your constant fear of being replaced, your constant need to prove that you deserve to stay. You were never designed to survive on human verdicts. You were designed to live by my truth. And listen, peace is not the reward you get when everything gets fixed. Peace is the gift that comes when you surrender your mind to me, when you stop gripping every possibility, when you stop running every scenario, when you stop trying to predict pain so you can protect yourself from it. Be still. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders soften. Hand me the replay. Hand me the what-ifs. Hand me the dread of starting over. Hand me the fear that love will leave again. I can hold what is too heavy for you. Because if you are going to see yourself rightly, you must stop consulting the court of public opinion inside your own head. Stop letting imagined faces and old voices sit on the throne of your thoughts. Come back to me. Ask me what is true. Receive what I say. And as you learn to lay your mind down in my hands, you will find that the night does not have to be a place of torment anymore. It can become a place of healing, where my peace guards your heart, and my truth quiets you from the inside out. My child, I know how you have been walking into rooms, into conversations, into relationships, into opportunities with your shoulders already tense, your mind already calculating, your heart already bracing. You have been trying to be acceptable, useful, impressive, unproblematic, because somewhere along the way you learned that love can feel conditional, that staying can feel like something you must earn, and you are tired, not because you are weak, but because you have been performing for safety. You have been editing yourself to avoid rejection. You have been working so hard to be enough that you have forgotten what it feels like to simply be held. But listen to me, you don't need to earn a place in a room I already prepared. You were never an applicant in my family. You are not on probation with me. You are not competing for my attention. You are not trying out for belonging. You are my child, and a child does not earn the right to be loved by being flawless. A child receives love because they are mine. I did not adopt you to keep you anxious. I did not call you to keep you striving. I did not bring you this far to make you live like you are always one mistake away from being sent away. And I am exposing the counterfeit belonging you have been chasing, the kind that demands you over-explain, over-give, over-function, and overextend. The kind that makes you scan faces for approval. The kind that tells you to shrink so you won't be too much, to silence your needs so you won't be a burden, to say yes when your soul is saying no, to keep the peace at the cost of your own. My child, that is not freedom. That is fear wearing the mask of maturity. That is people-pleasing dressed up as love, and it has been draining the life out of you. So release it. Release the guilt, the what-ifs, the fear of not being enough. Release the pressure to prove your worth with constant productivity. Release the need to be the most impressive person in the room just to feel like you can stay. Release the quiet panic that says, if I stop trying, I will be forgotten. Be still. Let your heart unclench. Let your spirit come out of hiding. I am not asking you to earn what I have already given. I am asking you to receive. Because in my kingdom, you belong before you perform. You rest before you prove. You are loved before you succeed. And when you finally lay down the exhausting job of trying to secure yourself through human approval, something holy begins to grow back in you. Rest becomes the ground where your true identity takes root again. Peace becomes the place where you remember your name. And from that place, secure, chosen, lovingly held, you will walk differently, not striving to be accepted, but living from the certainty that you already are. Now let me anchor your heart in what does not shift, because your feelings have been pushed around by rooms that changed, by faces that turned, by opinions that were formed too quickly. My child, my word says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And this is not poetry meant to sound nice while you still live unsure. This is truth meant to rebuild you. Psalm 139 is not a distant song. It is a mirror I am holding up to you so you can finally see what I have always seen. Before they formed an opinion of you, I knew you. Before they labeled you, I named you. Before they decided you were too quiet, too intense, too sensitive, too different, I formed you with intention. I saw the tenderness in you that you learned to hide so you wouldn't be hurt again. I saw the courage it took to keep showing up when you felt unwanted. I saw the motives no one bothered to ask about, the love you gave that was never announced, the battles you fought in silence, the prayers you whispered when you couldn't explain the ache. I know your tears, the ones you cried in the bathroom, the ones you swallowed in the car, the ones that fell on your pillow when you tried to be strong for everyone else. And I have not been confused about you for a single moment. People see moments, my child. They see one season, one reaction, one failure, one boundary you finally set, and they think they understand you. They judge you at a snapshot, while I have been watching the whole story. I see the process. I see the pressure you survived. I see the ways you are becoming, even when you don't feel like you are making progress. I know what you meant. I know what you carried. I know what you endured. And I do not reduce you to the hardest chapter you lived through. So hear me and let this settle where rejection tried to leave a bruise. You are not a mistake. You are not an afterthought. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are my workmanship, formed on purpose, with purpose. Wonderfully made means I was careful with you. Fearfully made means I was intentional with you. And if I formed you with this kind of detail, then their rejection cannot cancel your design. Release the verdicts that were spoken in haste. Release the labels that never had authority. Release the sentence you have been living under, as if one person's inability to see you is the final word. My knowledge of you is older than their judgment, deeper than their assumptions, steadier than their moods. And because I knew you first, I will define you last. Peace, be still. Let purpose rise again in the very place rejection tried to make you doubt who you are. My child, I know the ache that comes after someone walks away. I know what it feels like to look up and realize the circle changed without you. The invitation didn't come. The message went unanswered. Your name wasn't mentioned. Your presence wasn't missed the way you hoped it would be. I have seen the quiet grief of being replaced, the sting of being excluded, the humiliation of being unfollowed, as if your heart was disposable. The hollow feeling of watching people move on like you never mattered, and you have tried to be strong about it, but at night it comes back, the questions, the replay, the sinking fear that says, if they left, something must be wrong with me. But hear me, and let this truth settle deeper than the loss. The ones who walked away didn't take your worth with them. They took their choices, they took their capacity, they took their willingness, they took their perspective, but they did not take what I placed inside of you when I formed you. Your value is not carried in their hands, and it does not rise or fall with who stays, who claps, who calls, who remembers. People can leave your life, but they cannot remove the value I placed on you. And my child, some doors closed because I refused to let you bleed in that room. Some exits happened because I was answering a prayer you couldn't find the words to pray. You thought losing them meant losing yourself, but I was separating you from what was slowly draining you. what you kept calling love, while your peace kept disappearing. I was not punishing you. I was protecting you. I was removing what you were attached to but never assigned to carry. Because this is the trap. You have confused attachment with assignment. You have stayed where you were, only tolerated, because you feared being alone. You have kept reaching for what kept cutting you, because you were afraid the empty space would hurt more than the disrespect. You have begged for consistency, begged for clarity, begged to be chosen when I never asked you to live as a beggar. I did not create you to audition for love. So listen to me, and let this be both comfort and command. Let them go, so you can stop begging for what I already decided to give you freely, love. Let them go, so your heart can stop treating a closed hand like it is your only source. Let them go, so you can step out of the courtroom of their opinions and into the covering of my care. Peace, be still. You are not abandoned, you are being redirected. What felt like rejection is becoming alignment. And I will lead you into places where you don't have to fight to be valued, because you will finally believe what I have been saying all along. You are mine, and you are worth more than what walked away. My child, come closer, because I am not asking you to heal on motivation. I am anchoring you in my word, in what does not fluctuate with moods, with seasons, with who stays, and with who leaves. The word says in Luke 12:7, even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, you are of more value. Do you hear what I am telling you? I do not estimate you. I do not glance at you and guess. I do not treat you like a passing thought. I count what you think is too small to matter, which means I am not careless with what you have been carrying. If I number the hairs on your head, then I have not missed a single tear you tried to hide. I have not overlooked the sigh you let out when you finally got in the car and the strength you wore all day started to crack. I have not ignored the quiet act of endurance. One more appointment, one more shift, one more conversation where you smiled while your heart was trembling. I have seen the moments you did the right thing without applause. I have seen you choose peace when your emotions begged you to defend yourself. I have seen you forgive again, pray again, show up again, even when part of you wondered if it was worth it. You thought no one noticed, but I noticed. You thought it didn't count, but I counted it. And I need you to let this correct the lie you have been living under. You are not disposable to me. You are not replaceable to me. You are not one of many in a way that makes you easy to forget. People may have treated you like an option. People may have acted like your absence didn't matter. People may have moved on quickly and left you wondering if you were ever truly valued. But, my child, I do not lose track of what belongs to me. I do not misplace my beloved. I do not forget the ones I formed. I hold you with intention. So right now, peace, be still. Stop calling yourself what I never called you. Stop agreeing with the name rejection tried to staple to your forehead. Stop saying you are too much, not enough, hard to love, easy to leave, easy to replace. Those are not my words. Those are wounds trying to talk like wisdom. Be still, and let truth speak louder than memory. I have numbered you. I have considered you. I have carefully kept you. And when you finally receive this, when you let yourself be known without performing, you will feel the addiction to approval begin to break. Because you will understand that the craving to be validated by everyone was never about popularity. It was about safety. You were trying to secure your heart with human hands. But I am teaching you a better way. When you know you are counted by me, you stop chasing being counted by them. When you know you are valued by me, you stop begging to be valued in rooms that require you to shrink. Rest, my child. Be still. Let my knowing be the place your heart comes home to, and you will find that your healing is not a struggle for attention. It is a surrender into being held. My child, I know how exhausted you are from trying to make people understand your heart. I know the weight of carrying a story that keeps getting twisted, the ache of speaking gently and still being heard wrongly, the frustration of offering your best and still being judged by your worst moment. You have been explaining yourself to people who already decided who you are. You have been trying to clarify, trying to prove, trying to show your intentions, trying to say it the perfect way, hoping that if you find the right words, you will finally be safe. But listen to me. Some hearts are not confused. They are committed to misunderstanding you, and the more you chase their understanding, the more you bleed. I see what it has cost you. I see the over-talking, adding one more paragraph, one more message, one more explanation, because silence feels like guilt. I see the overgiving trying to earn a fair interpretation by being endlessly generous. I see the overfunctioning carrying the whole relationship, fixing the mood, managing the room, so no one can say you were the problem. I see the over-apologizing, saying sorry for having needs, sorry for having boundaries, sorry for taking up space. I see the self-erasing, the way you shrink your truth so you won't be rejected for it. And I am telling you, my child, you were never meant to live like this. You were not created to audition for understanding. So hear my instruction, gentle but firm. Release the need to defend yourself. Be still. Let your heart unclench. You do not have to live in a constant courtroom, presenting evidence to people who will never rule in your favor. I know the truth. I know what you meant. I know what you carried. I know the motives they questioned and the tears they never saw, and I will vindicate you in due time, not in haste, not in chaos, not by you wrestling for the last word. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Now take a practical step into freedom. Bless them, even if they never bless you back. Forgive them, even if they never admit they were wrong. And then stop reopening the wound for proof. Stop checking for updates that steal your peace. Stop scanning for signs that they finally understand. Stop returning to the same place in your mind just to feel the sting again and call it closure. Closure is not something they hand you. It is something you receive from me when you let it go. Because freedom begins when you stop needing everyone to understand what I already know. The moment you release that craving, you make room for peace that does not depend on their agreement, room for clarity that does not require their permission, room for a healed identity that is not negotiated by their opinion. My child, come out of the noise. Come back to my voice. Peace, be still. I understand you completely, and I am holding you securely, and that is enough. Now, my child, let me give your heart a foundation that cannot be argued with, because you have been living as if your identity is up for debate. You have been measuring yourself by who responded, who stayed, who clapped, who called, who understood. But I am not asking you to build your life on reaction. I am anchoring you in covenant. The word says in Ephesians 1 that you were chosen in me, that you were predestined for adoption, that you are accepted in the beloved, and that you are sealed. Do you hear me? Chosen, adopted, accepted, sealed. These are not fragile words. These are not feelings. These are facts. And I need you to understand this clearly. Being chosen does not mean people never rejected you. It does not mean you were never overlooked, never excluded, never misunderstood, never left. It means their rejection was never the highest verdict over your life. It means that even when someone closed their heart, I did not close mine. Even when they treated you like an option, I did not treat you like a maybe. Even when they were confused about you, I was not. I am not confused about you, my child. I have never stared at your life and wondered if you are worth keeping. I have never hesitated to call you mine. So stop using shame language to describe what I have covered with love. Stop calling yourself tolerated when I have called you adopted. Tolerated means you are allowed to stay until you make a mistake. Adopted means you belong even when you are still growing. Tolerated means you must stay small to remain acceptable. Adopted means you are secure enough to become whole, and you are not temporary in my hands. You are sealed, not seasonal. You are held, not pending. You are accepted in the beloved, not accepted when you perform perfectly, not accepted when your mood is strong, not accepted when people agree with you, accepted because I placed you in Christ, and I do not take back what I have chosen. So when your emotions rise and tell you, maybe I'm too much, answer them with my word. When your memory replays a rejection and tries to rename you, answer it with truth. When the enemy whispers, you're on the edge, you don't really belong, you will say, I am chosen. When your heart fears being replaced, you will say, I am adopted. When your mind spirals and asks, will I be left again? You will say, I am sealed. Chosen is not a feeling you fall in and out of. It is my decision, and I do not change my mind about my child. And this is why your tired soul can finally rest, because the exhaustion did not only come from what happened to you, it came from trying to earn what was already yours. It came from living like love must be negotiated. But I am settling this for you now. You do not have to audition for a family I already placed you in. Be still. Let your heart unclench. Let the striving quiet down. When your identity is anchored in me, you stop chasing the shaking ground of human approval, and you begin to breathe again slowly, safely, because you remember what is true. You are mine, and you are chosen. My child, I see your tiredness, and I am not calling it laziness. I am not standing over you with disappointment because you need to sit down, because you need to breathe, because you feel like you have nothing left to prove today. I know the kind of exhaustion you have been carrying is not only in your body, it is in your spirit. It is the fatigue of emotional labor you never clocked in for, the fatigue of reading the room before you speak, the fatigue of measuring every sentence so you won't be misunderstood, the fatigue of staying pleasant while your heart is bracing for rejection, the fatigue of acting strong when you do not feel safe to be fully yourself. You have been on constant alert, and you called it being responsible. You have been hyper-aware, and you called it being mature. You have been anticipating disappointment, and you called it being realistic. But, my child, that constant bracing has a cost. When you live like you must earn your place, your nervous system does not rest. It prepares for loss. When you live like love can disappear at any moment, your heart does not exhale. It stays guarded. And then you wonder why you are worn out, why simple tasks feel heavy, why joy feels distant, why you can't think clearly. There is nothing wrong with you because you feel worn. My child, don't be afraid. You are not failing. You are fatigued from carrying too much for too long. So come to me without shame, not with an apology for being human, not with a speech explaining why you're tired, not with you trying to clean yourself up before you rest. Give me the weight of being enough. Give me the fear of being left. Give me the pressure to be impressive, the pressure to be easy, the pressure to be unbreakable. Let me carry what you were never meant to carry. You were not designed to live with your shoulders up around your ears, with your jaw clenched, with your stomach tight, with your mind running all night trying to secure tomorrow. Be still. Peace. Be still. Breathe now, slowly, and let your body learn that it is safe in my presence. Unclench your hands. Unclench your thoughts. Unclench the story you keep gripping, what they said, what they meant, what you should have done differently. Rest without guilt, my child. Stillness is not wasting time when I am the one restoring you. Even when you are quiet, I am working. Even when you are resting, I am rebuilding. Even when you stop striving, I do not stop loving. And hear this. When your system calms, your heart can hear me again. You have been trying to discern my voice through the noise of survival, through the static of fear, through the ache of proving. But I am gentle with you. I will not shout over your panic. I will soothe you into clarity. So lay down tonight, knowing this is holy. Work too, receiving rest, receiving care, receiving my steady love. Because I am not shaming your exhaustion, my child. I am inviting you into renewal, and I will meet you there. My child, I know what it feels like to wait. I know the ache of prayers you have whispered more than once, prayers you meant with your whole heart, and then you looked up, and nothing around you seemed to move. I know the sting of healing that feels slow, the kind that comes in inches when you were begging for a miracle in miles. I know the disappointment of relationships that have not been restored, the silence where an apology never came, the door that stayed closed, even after you knocked with faith. I know how you tried to be patient, tried to be mature, tried to say, I trust you, while part of you wondered, if God loves me, why does this take so long? Come closer and let me speak into the place that has been interpreting time as rejection. What feels like delay is not neglect, it is preparation. Sometimes what feels like delay is actually divine design, and I am doing work in you that cannot be rushed without costing you peace later. You want fruit, but I am growing roots. You want the answer, but I am building the vessel that can carry it. You want the open door, but I am strengthening your discernment so you don't walk back into what will drain you again. Roots form where no one applauds, where nothing looks impressive, where you feel like you are behind. But beneath the surface, I am establishing what can last. And hear me clearly, my timing is not punishment, my timing is protection. Some spaces you were removed from were not proof that you were unwanted. They were proof that I would not let your flourishing happen in the wrong season, surrounded by the wrong hands, under the wrong covering. I know what you would have settled for if I had answered too quickly. I know what you would have called love if I had not slowed you down. I know what you would have forced open just to avoid feeling left behind. But I love you too much to accelerate you into what would break you. So do not measure my care by your calendar. Do not call it abandonment because it is quiet. I am not absent in the waiting. I am intentional in it. And I am telling you again, as a promise you can rest your whole body on. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not when they finally approve. Not when you finally feel brave enough to control every outcome, when the time is right. Trust does not deny your pain, my child. Trust names the pain and then releases the control. Trust says, this hurts, but it is not hopeless. Trust says, I don't understand the pace, but I know the one who holds the plan. So give me the timeline you keep gripping. Give me the pressure of, by now. Give me the fear that nothing will change. Let me carry what you were never meant to carry, because I am not delaying to wound you. I am preparing you to be whole when the door opens, steady when the blessing comes, and peaceful enough to keep what I place in your hands. Peace, be still, I am working, and I will not be late. My child, as I prepare you, I must also free you from the habit you picked up in pain, the habit of shrinking. You learn to survive by becoming quieter than your truth. You learn to stay by becoming easier than your needs. You learn to avoid being left by acting like you didn't care that much. And I see it. The way you edit your laughter before it gets too loud, the way you swallow your excitement before it looks too eager, the way you hide your sensitivity because someone once mocked your tenderness, the way you lower your expectations so disappointment won't hurt as deeply. You have been dimming what I lit. You have been silencing gifts I placed in you. You have been calling your heart too much when it was simply unprotected. Listen to me, and let this correct the lie at the root. You are not too much. You were just in the wrong hands. You were in spaces that only knew how to honor small versions of you, controllable versions of you, convenient versions of you. And because they mishandled you, you started treating your own design like a problem to fix. But I did not create you as an apology. I did not form you to be tolerated. I formed you to be whole, steady in love, honest in need, courageous in joy, faithful in truth. So hear my gentle command, stop shrinking, stand up in your true self. I am with you. When you speak, you do not have to soften your convictions into whispers just to keep the peace. When you love, you do not have to pretend you don't feel deeply just to look strong. When you walk into rooms, you do not have to make yourself smaller to be safe. Peace, be still. I did not bring you this far to leave you half-hidden. And take this new filter into every relationship, every room, every commitment. If it requires self-betrayal to keep it, it is not my best for you. If you have to abandon your boundaries, silence your calling, numb your joy, or violate your conscience just to stay connected, that is not covenant, that is captivity. I am not asking you to hold on to anything that only survives when you disappear. Let it go. Release it. Let me carry what you were never meant to carry, the fear that being yourself will cost you love. Because as you become whole, I will align you with people who can honor who you are. I will place you where your too much is finally called a gift, where your tenderness is treated as strength, where your joy is welcomed, not envied, where your honesty is safe. You will not have to audition for belonging when I am the one arranging the room. So lift your head, my child. Unclench your heart. Stop shrinking. My love is not looking for a smaller version of you. My love is restoring the real you. Now, my child, I am going to give you a new lens, because you have been looking at yourself through the glass of how they treated you. And that glass has been cracked by rejection, smudged by misunderstanding, and fogged by moments you replay in the dark. You have been interpreting your value by their distance, your beauty by their neglect, your importance by their inconsistency. And every time you do, your heart starts living as if their behavior is prophecy. But I am telling you, gently and clearly, their treatment is not your identity. Their response is not your reflection. Their inability to hold you is not evidence that you are unworthy of being held. So I am teaching you a holy practice, a quiet discipline that will heal you from the inside out. When a rejection memory rises, when your mind rewinds the conversation, the exclusion, the silence, the look on their face, the way they walked away, do not just absorb it. Do not let it name you. Pause, breathe, and answer it with truth. Peace. Be still. Let truth settle deeper than fear, because healing accelerates when you interpret your life through my gaze instead of their behavior. When memory says, you were too much, you will answer with Psalm 139. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When memory says, you were easy to forget, you will answer with Luke 12:7, I am counted. Even the hairs on my head are numbered, and I am of more value. When memory says, you don't belong, you're always the one left out, you will answer with Ephesians 1, I am chosen, adopted, accepted, and sealed. My child, this is how you stop letting old rooms control new seasons. This is how you stop bleeding in your thoughts long after the wound should have closed. And I want you to rehearse what I call you until it becomes the language of your nervous system. Say it slowly and let it calm you. I am beloved, I am chosen, I am seen, I am kept, I am guided, I am protected, not because people finally understand you, not because you never feel the ache again, not because you can explain your whole story perfectly, but because I have spoken, and my word does not return empty. Be still. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your mind stop sprinting toward the worst conclusion. And as this lens changes, you will notice something holy happening. Forgiveness becomes possible without you disappearing. You will stop confusing grace with self-abandonment. You will be able to release them from the debt of being your validator, because you are no longer asking their hands to hold what only mine can hold. This new lens will make you gentle, but not gullible, soft, but not unsafe, forgiving, but still whole. Peace. Be still, my child. Look again through my eyes, and let your heart come home to the truth. My child, now that you are seeing yourself through my eyes, I will teach you what forgiveness truly is, because you have been afraid that if you forgive, you must return. You have been afraid that release means re-entry, that mercy means you must hand your heart back to the same hands that mishandled it. But listen to me. Forgiveness is not permission for harm. Forgiveness is freedom for you. Forgiveness is you taking your heart out of the prison of replaying, out of the bondage of bitterness, out of the exhausting need to make them finally understand what they did. You can forgive fully and still walk forward wisely. Freedom does not require returning to the place that broke you. I did not call you to heal by re-bleeding. I did not call you to prove your maturity by tolerating what keeps stealing your peace. I am not impressed by your ability to endure disrespect. I am pleased by your willingness to steward what I entrusted to you, your mind, your tenderness, your time, your body, your worship, your joy. Be still. Let this settle. Boundaries are not hatred. Boundaries are holy. So release it, my child. Release the offense. Release the replaying of the conversation in your head, the moment you wish you could redo, the sentence you wish you would have said, the way you keep trying to win their approval so your pain feels justified. Release the craving to be chosen by the one who proved they were unsafe. Release the secret plan to punish them with your silence while still hoping they come running. That is not peace. That is a chain, and I am unlocking you now. Let it go. Place it in my hands. Because you do not have to be the judge to get justice. You do not have to punish yourself to prove you were hurt. You do not have to keep touching the bruise to convince yourself it happened. I saw it. I know it. And I am telling you, with gentle authority, I will repay. I will restore. I will vindicate in the way that protects your future, not in the way that keeps you tied to your past. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And as you forgive, something tender will return to you, your softness. Not the softness that makes you available to be used, but the softness that makes you alive again. The softness that can love without begging, that can be kind without collapsing, that can be generous without abandoning discernment. You will be gentle, but not gullible. You will be open, but not exposed. You will be free, and still protected. Peace, be still, my child. This is the way forward. A clean heart and a wise life, a released spirit and a guarded gate. I am healing you so you can be soft again without becoming unsafe. Now, my child, as you walk away from what broke you, do not expect your restoration to announce itself with noise. Do not demand fireworks from a God who heals with oil and patience, with gentle hands and steady love. Your comeback will be quiet at first, but it will be real. It will look like your shoulders dropping without you even noticing. It will look like you sleeping a little deeper, not because every problem is solved, but because your spirit is no longer on constant alert. It will look like your mind getting a break from the same exhausting replay. It will look like you waking up and realizing you did not check your phone with dread. It will look like a smile rising that you didn't force, a laugh that didn't feel guilty, a hope that returns like a sunrise, slow, sure, and faithful. You have been measuring healing by how loud you feel, how bold you sound, how quickly you can move on. But I am telling you, healing is not a performance. Healing is a quiet homecoming. It is you becoming safe in your own body again. It is you trusting my love again. It is you standing in the mirror and no longer flinching at your own reflection. And yes, there will be days when a memory still stings, when a song, a place, a scent, a date on the calendar brushes against a scar. But scars do not mean you failed. Scars mean you survived. Scars mean what tried to end you did not get the final word. Scars mean the wound closed, and I was there in the closing. So be patient with yourself, my child. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not talk harshly to your heart because you are not over it fast enough. I am not rushing you. I am rebuilding you in places no one can see. I am strengthening the part of you that used to crumble when you felt misunderstood. I am restoring the part of you that used to panic when someone pulled away. I am rewiring the places where rejection taught you to brace for impact. Peace, be still. The quiet is not emptiness. It is construction. The silence is not abandonment. It is healing at work. And as you move from survival into expectancy, you will notice I am aligning what fits the healed version of you. I am bringing community that does not require you to shrink. I am opening opportunities that do not demand you betray your values to belong. I am shifting relationships. Some will fall away because they only knew how to relate to your wounded self, but others will come near because they recognize my light in you. You are not returning to who you were before you were hurt. You are becoming who you were always meant to be, steady, discerning, tender, and free. So now, my child, do not only listen to this truth, agree with it. Let it move from your ears into your spirit. Loosen your grip on the old verdicts. Release the timeline. Release the fear that you will always feel this way. And come with me into the next moment, where truth becomes surrender, and surrender becomes peace. Breathe, and get ready to pray, not from begging, but from belonging. Now, my child, do not let this be a moment that only moves you emotionally, and then leaves you unchanged. Let it become agreement. Because there is a difference between hearing truth and partnering with truth. When you speak what I say over you, your heart begins to realign. When you confess what heaven has already decided, you loosen the grip of every human verdict that tried to name you. This is not a transaction. This is not you trying to impress me. This is you coming out of hiding and saying, I will no longer live under rejection when I have been called beloved. So take a simple step of faith right now and let it be your yes. If this message is speaking to you, comment these words as your agreement. I am seen, chosen, and loved by God. Not because your feelings are perfect today, not because everything is resolved, but because my truth is steady when your emotions are shaking. Let your fingers type what your spirit needs to remember. Let your mouth whisper it if you cannot type. Let your heart breathe as you align with me. And if you know someone who has been carrying rejection in silence, smiling in public, aching in private, share this with them tonight. Be my reminder to them. Be the gentle interruption that tells them they are not forgotten. And if you want more, God says messages that rebuild your identity and bring peace, subscribe and stay close. I will keep meeting you here, again and again, until your heart learns safety in my love. And if this helped your heart breathe again, tap like so it reaches the rejected and the tired who need to hear me say, my child, don't be afraid. I see you, and you are mine. Father, come close. You are holy, and you are gentle, and you are near to the quiet places in me that no one else has touched. You see the smile I've given to people while something inside me quietly ached. You counted the tears I wiped away before anyone noticed. You know the secret battles in my mind, the nights where I replayed a moment until it felt like a verdict, the mornings where I carried heaviness like it was normal. So I come to you, not to perform, not to prove, not to pretend I'm fine, only to be held, only to be honest, only to come home. Father, I confess that I am tired. I confess that rejection has trained my heart to brace for being unwanted. I confess that I have measured my worth by reactions, by who stayed, who responded, who understood, who chose me back. I confess that I have tried to earn rooms you already prepared, and I have been afraid that if I'm fully myself, I will lose love. I confess that I have carried the fear of being too much, the fear of being replaced, the fear of being overlooked again, and I lay it down right now. I cannot heal myself by overthinking. I cannot secure myself by striving. I need you. So, Father, touch the rejected places in me. Go to the moment it started. Go to the memory that still stings. Go to the sentence that was spoken over me, the exclusion that made me question my value, the silence that made me blame myself. Heal the shame I've been hiding under. Heal the self-blame that says, if I were better, they would have stayed. Heal the triggers that rise without warning, the songs, the dates, the familiar places, the tone of someone's voice that makes my body tense again. Heal the racing thoughts that keep me awake, the constant analyzing, the rehearsing, the replaying, the need to be understood by everyone. Father, quiet the storm. Peace, be still. And now restore my true name. Let what you say be louder than what they did. Your word says I am chosen, adopted, accepted in the beloved, and sealed. So I receive that truth again, not as information, but as identity. Teach my mind to agree with heaven. Teach my heart to rest in what you decided. Let your peace rule me, guard me, and govern me. Where rejection tried to make me small, make me whole. Where fear tried to make me hide, make me secure. Where anxiety tried to control me, make me still. Father, I surrender outcomes to you. I surrender timing to you. I surrender relationships to you. I surrender my reputation, my need to be validated, my need to be remembered by the ones who forgot me. I place every unanswered question in your hands. Let me be free. Let me be healed. Let me be held. And as I rise from this prayer, let my spirit remember what is true. I am yours. I am loved, and I am safe in your care. Amen. Now, my child, do not rush away from this moment as if it was only meant to soothe you. Let it seal you, because when you declare what I say, you are not pretending you are partnering. Declarations retrain your heart. Truth spoken consistently breaks the old agreement you made with rejection. The agreement you made in the dark when you said, maybe I'm the problem, maybe I don't belong, maybe I'm too much, maybe I will always be left. No, my child, not anymore. Breathe, and let your spirit come into alignment with heaven. Say this with me, slowly, and let it settle deeper than the memory. I am not what they rejected. I am who God created. I am not the exclusion, not the silence, not the misunderstanding, not the door that closed. I am the workmanship of God. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am seen. I am held. I am not invisible to the one who formed me. And now speak peace over your mind, because I did not design you to live in mental warfare every night. Declare it. My mind is not a battlefield. The Prince of Peace guards my heart and my thoughts. I receive perfect peace as I trust the Lord. I will not call anxiety wisdom. I will not call overthinking discernment. Peace, be still. My thoughts will come under the authority of truth, and I will rest. Declare your belonging, my child, because you have been trying to earn what I already gave. Say it. I am chosen in Christ. I belong to God. I am accepted in the beloved. I am adopted, not tolerated. I am sealed, not temporary. I do not audition for love. I live from love. What I could not secure with performance, I receive by grace. Now release what has been tightening your chest. Declare it, and let it be your freedom. I release the need to be understood by everyone. I release the need to explain myself to people committed to misunderstanding me. I release the fear of starting over. I release the guilt, the what-ifs, the replaying, the craving for their approval. I forgive, and I move forward wisely. I bless, and I set boundaries. I let go, and I do not go back. And finally, anchor your hope in my timing, not theirs. Say it, when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. What is for me will find me in God's hands. What God has written over my life cannot be canceled by human rejection. Restoration is coming, and it will be real. I will be led by peace. I will not be defined by rejection. I am yours, I am loved, and I am safe. Amen. Now, my child, stay here one more moment, and let this truth become a path you keep walking on, not just a moment you visited. You do not have to heal alone. You were never meant to carry rejection in silence, or to rebuild your heart with no one standing with you. So if rejection has wounded you, if a breakup cut you, if family conflict bruised you, if workplace exclusion made you question your worth, if church hurt made you afraid to trust again, leave your prayer request below. Tell me what happened, and tell me what you need me to heal. Not because I don't already know, but because bringing it into the light breaks the power of it, and I will meet you there with tenderness. And as an act of agreement, comment these words: I receive God's love over my life. Let your fingers partner with your faith. Let your mouth say what your heart is learning. Let your spirit come into alignment again and again until peace becomes your normal. Stay close, my child. Subscribe, not for noise, not for entertainment, but for consistency, for steady reminders that rebuild identity and guard your mind when old voices try to return. And share this with the rejected and the tired, the ones smiling while aching, the ones starting over, the ones who feel forgotten. Be the gentle interruption that reminds them they are seen. Now I bless you. Peace over your night, rest over your mind, quiet over the thoughts that try to accuse you when the lights go out, courage to see yourself through my eyes, not their treatment. Sleep, my child. I am holding you.